Hi, this is Rachel from Lively Rachel Ann. I have 10 must-have items for the beginner nurse before starting your first job. So, first must-hot needed item before starting your first nursing job. A detailed job description. So make sure that when you go out to find that new nurse job, what's really important and key is to make sure you go over that detailed job description, because it's going to be laying out about all the things that your nursing job and expectations encompass. So very important to look over that detailed job list. And if you have any questions, make sure you ask them and get those questions answered before you start your new job. Number 2, must-have item before starting your first nursing job. It's not necessarily an item, but it's an opportunity. Make sure that you have the opportunity to go shadow or job share with another nurse. So if it's possible, before agreeing or accepting to the job, to be able to shadow a nurse for an 8 or a 12-hour shift, or at least at the very minimum a 4-hour section, to understand the unit a little bit better, to understand the flow of how that nurse works on the unit, to understand her day-to-day expectations, interactions, her list of things to do that she needs to get done, how the doctors interact with her, how her coworkers interact with her. So going to give you a little bit of a glimpse in the day in the life of, and you might have had an idea of that going through clinicals during nursing school, but this is a whole different interaction. This is where you're going to be placed in your nursing career to begin with, and it would be really helpful to be able to see how everybody interacts with each other on the floor in their regular day-to-day shift. Item number 3 on the must-have list of things that you need before you start as a nurse is the 4 S's. So S number 1 is a good pair of shoes. I cannot tell you, this is like the most biggest investment that you should be doing and making for yourself as a nurse. Even more so than any other item that you carry as a nurse is the shoes that are on your feet. They will go a long way in making a 12 or 16-hour shift seem not as bad or as long. I had multiple nursing, quote-unquote nursing shoes that I had tried, including the dance goes, including nursemate shoes, not live up to their name and what they claimed that they could do to help. So the ones I ended up landing on and loving were Reebok ZigTechs. I know they're kind of old and outdated at this point, but during that first year of my nursing career, they helped my feet tremendously. I loved them. I even tried Crocs. Did not work. A good pair of shoes will take you a very far way in nursing. So always invest in a good pair of shoes, and as soon as they start breaking down, make sure that you reinvest in another new pair. Second, stethoscope. Now, some of my colleagues, coworkers will say that this is a very big, important S, being stethoscope, but at the same time, the unit that you work on may have an abundant supply of them. So if you leave your stethoscope at home, which could happen, the unit will have a stethoscope. It may not be as great or as wonderful as the stethoscope that you have, that you purchased on your own, but it is nonetheless a stethoscope that you can still get your assessment done with. Third S, scrubs. And specifically speaking, a scrub jacket. Now depending on the facility you work at, scrubs are obviously a needed thing to wear, but having that jacket is so important, because there are times during your shift when you're not running around and not hot and you actually are cold if you're sitting down charting or trying to catch your breath. Invest in one of those and have it available or in your locker to go if you need it. The last S is scissors. So again, something that nurses run into a lot or need are scissors to cut tape, to cut tubing, to cut strings. It just kind of depends on where you work and what you're doing, but investing in a nice, good medical pair of scissors will help you and go a long way. Keep that in your jacket pocket or in your scrub top, doesn't matter. Just make sure it's available and ready to go when you need it. Number 4 must-have item when you are starting out as a nurse is compression stockings. Now I know this seems so old-fashioned, but let me tell you, the benefit of compression stockings are amazing. You put them on, it helps to keep that blood flow going in the right direction and not just all staying in your bottom lower extremities. And because you're always on your feet, you don't have the opportunity to just put your feet up whenever you want. So investing in a good pair of compression stockings are going to help you in the long run. Just going to help that circulation flow so much better. And another additional item I would say to that is making sure to go home after your 12 or 8-hour shift and putting your feet up, leaning them up against the wall or just having them higher than your heart. Just having them up and elevated will do you wonders. So make sure you take care of your feet and your legs as well. Number 5 must-have item before starting as a newer nurse would be a pedometer. Now, this is not a must-have. It's not going to make your job any better, but it definitely is going to help you understand how many miles, how many steps you're putting on in the workplace. For me, I wore a Fitbit, and so I was always looking and curious to find out how many steps I was racking up for the day. And it's not unheard of to put 5, 10, 15 miles on in one day just by all of the walking that a nurse does in her job day to day. Number 6 must-have item would be a small clipboard. Now, I don't know if you've seen these on the floor. It wasn't until after I was no longer on the unit that I noticed a lot of people carrying these, and they're these little metal clipboards that fold in half. But when you open them up, it's a nice hard surface. It has the clipboard on the very top. It's small and condensed, so it's not something that you have to carry under your arm or in your arms. You can just try to put it in your jacket pocket or your scrub top pocket, and you can just reach for it, grab it. You can put all of your patient information with the different patients that are on your load for the day. Another added benefit to this pocket clipboard would be the fact that there's these little cheat sheets, if you will, dosage calculations, lab values that are pretty common. There's even a ruler on the side of it if you're needing that to help measure something. So just make sure that you invest in something that works for you. But this would be one of those must-have items that if I had started all over again, I totally would have invested in one. 7 must-have item would be informational cards. So these cards are informational things like different departments that you need to call and having their number quickly accessible, including surgery, your doctor's call rooms, different department extension numbers. So all of that is at a quick reference that you can pull up and have in front of you right away when you need it to make those important calls. Some people that I worked with also made a small laminated card, and then they put all of that information on this little card and put it in their name badge. So whether it was hanging around their neck on a lanyard or on a clip that was clipped to their shirt, it was something easy and accessible for them to grab when they needed that information. This next item is something that you really are going to need before you start your first job, and that is a waterproof watch. I cannot tell you, I had tried multiple cheap watches from like Walmart or Target, and they lasted only so long. There's multiple times that your hands are wet and you're washing your hands and wrists. So it would be good to invest in a watch that is waterproof, that can handle that, something that you take off regularly. You're going to wipe it down and clean it. So I wouldn't necessarily go towards leather, but maybe something plastic or rubbery. I had a Puma watch that was so great. It was digital, and it had a light. It was in a patient's room and I needed to know the exact time of things I was charting and it was dark. I could just hit my watch light and know exactly what was going on, and counting respirations, even that, having that second hand on there. All the different options are out there, of course, but these would just serve you well in the nursing field to have a great watch, a good investment. Number 9, quality pens. And I cannot tell you how many times that this is going to be something that is going to be an ever-changing process. You're going to find different pens that you like, different pens you don't like. Some people really like the gel pens. Some people love just a real nice ballpoint pen. Some people really like a fine pen versus a medium point pen. It kind of just depends on your likes or dislikes. Of course, in nursing, you don't really have many options of colors. I mean, you can write your report in different colors, but when it comes time to writing out or signing things, it has to be in a black ink. So it's probably best just to kind of look towards those colored pens and then finding the one that works best for you. But make sure that you keep them with you. One thing on the nursing job is you're going to lose a lot of pens, so don't invest too much money in them, but find the ones that you like. Keep them with you. I even went as far as labeling my pens. I know it's kind of sad, but this allowed me to find my pens easily, and sometimes I found them. I think those doctors really like to steal our nurses' pens. That's my opinion. But don't take them home. Don't let your family use them. Just keep them in your locker at work and use them when you need them for your job. 10, a pen light. So not a necessary must-have item, but definitely a good one to have available for you. Again, working on overnight shifts, you're going to be in patients' rooms a lot at nighttime, especially if you're just checking urine output, or if you're bringing just something in for them briefly, some water or something. You don't necessarily want to turn every light on in the room, so having a good pen light would be wonderful. You can check your drainage tubes. You can check your different things that might be in the way on the floor for the patient as they're coming to and from the bathroom. Just make sure that you do your job well, you do a thorough job. Those are my 10 must-have items before starting as a nurse. Make sure that you leave a comment below if you think there's something I missed that also is a must-have item. And thank you for watching. Make sure you share and like this video. Also, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and we will see you next time. Have a good day.